8 and Friday rain with a high around 41. The Great Wall Restaurant brings classic Szechuan and Peking Mandarin dishes right to the Twin Cities, featuring favorites like pan-fried dumplings and fish fillet in ginger sauce. Stop by the Great Wall location at 4515 France Avenue South and browse their full extensive menu at greatwallrestaurant.us. That's greatwallrestaurant.us. Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
Broadcasting from AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota, and also going out to WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk, 1150 AM, KKNW Seattle, and BAM, Blue Amp Media at blueamp.com, Substack. This is the Matt McNeil Show, and my name is Greg Bakun. I am filling in for Matt today as he is actually at the My Little Pony convention in Orlando, Florida, and hope he's having a good time out there this week. And we are going to we have a lot to talk about today. I'm in this hour. I'm going to bring on a gentleman by the name of George Feltenstein, and he runs the Warner Archive Collection, part of Warner Brothers, and they have some fantastic film restoration going on. I'm a big fan of movies. I'm a big fan of archive television. So is George and that label. And we're going to have a wonderful conversation about that. In the 4 o'clock hour, we are going to talk to local Minnesota legend, meteorologist Dave Dahl. We're going to be talking about severe weather awareness coming up in April. And quite frankly, I mean, the time seems just about right for that. So that's very exciting, too. Meanwhile, in the room across from me, I see Patrick. Patrick, how are you doing today?
Good afternoon. It's good to be working with you again. It's been a couple of years since you and I got to grace the same studio together. Interested with Dave Dahl when he comes on. We they told us there's going to be a big ice storm, and it all ended up being, fortunately, just a regular rain, which I think was a good thing. But I was kind of interested to find out how that all developed as well.
Should I put his feet to the fire on that? Should I just be like, hey, what is going on, dude? Why can't you guys ever get anything right? Is that what you're thinking I should do?
We don't have to be jerks to him. We can find someone else to be jerks to.
Okay. We're going to be talking about a few jerks today as it happens. And basically, I think probably the biggest jerk got fired today, actually. And that's the exciting thing. I mean, here's the thing. Okay. What's going around is obviously Pam Bondi has been fired. And you got to wonder, if this is kind of how it works on Donald Trump's old show, The Apprentice, like, does he call her into the office and actually, same with Kristi Noem, just kind of give her the "you're fired"? And you can't help but parody that, even if he's actually doing it for real. I mean, it's just incredible. But she's gone. President Donald Trump said Thursday that Pam Bondi is out as his attorney general, ending the contentious tenure of a loyalist who upended the Justice Department's culture independence from the White House, oversaw large-scale firings of career employees, and moved aggressively to investigate the Republican president's perceived enemies. Yeah, no, that sounds like she did just a fine job there, didn't she? The departure of the country's chief law enforcement officer followed months of scrutiny from angry conservatives over the Justice Department handling of files related to Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking investigation and failed efforts to please Trump through unsuccessful efforts to build criminal cases against prominent foes, investigations that in some cases have been rejected by judges and grand juries. Now, Trump has named Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche as the acting attorney general, though 3 people familiar with the matter have said that he has privately discussed Lee Zeldin, the head of the Environmental Protection Agency, as a permanent pick. Now, let's see. Trump says Pam Bondi is a great American patriot and loyal friend who has faithfully served as my attorney general over the past year. He added, "We love Pam, and she will be transitioning to a much needed and important new job in the private sector to be announced at a date in the near future. What that actually means is that she is going into the political black hole and we'll never hear about her again. Now, the thing is, I hate to say this, but since the Trump administration, I hate the word patriot. I no longer can say, like we talk about like the American Revolution and stuff. And I'm just like, these are patriots that created the country that we're living in today. And now, unfortunately, the only time that I think what I think about with what I hear patriot is my mind just goes directly to January 6th, quite honestly. Those aren't patriots. And so it's a shame. And, it's apropos that Trump would use that kind of rhetoric, but unfortunately, it is it really does nothing for me. And I feel a lot of people feel that way too. Bondi, a former Florida attorney general, came into office last year pledging that she would not play politics with the Justice Department. I can't even say that with a straight face. But she quickly started investigations of Trump's foes, sparking an outcry that the law enforcement agency was being wielded as a tool of revenge to advance the president's political and personal agenda. No, not at all. She ushered in a period of intense turmoil at the department that included the firings of career prosecutors deemed insufficiently loyal to Trump and the resignations of hundreds of other employees. Her departure continues a trend of Justice Department upheaval that has defined Trump's presidency, as multiple attorney generals across his 2 terms have either been pushed out or resigned after proving unwilling or unable to meet his demands for the position. Now, Bondi rejected accusations that she politicized the Justice Department. Wow. And she said her mission was to restore the institution's credibility after overreach by President Joe Biden's Democratic administration with 2 federal criminal cases against Trump. Bondi's defenders have said that she worked to refocus the department to better tackle legal immigration and violent crimes and brought much needed change to an agency they believed unfairly targeted conservatives. Embracing, supporting, and protecting the president, Bondi's public embrace of the president, however, marked a sharp departure from her predecessors, who generally took pains to maintain an arm's length distance from the White House to protect the impartiality of investigations and prosecutions. Bondi postured herself as Trump's chief supporter and protector, praising and defending him in congressional hearings and placing a banner with his face on the exterior of the Justice Department headquarters. I have to say, I always have to say this, and I've said this before when I've stepped in for Matt. When I remember being in my early 20s in the 90s, and people were worried for one reason or another. We don't ever want to have what happened in Germany during that led to World War II. We don't ever want to see anything like that happen again. And I thought to myself, that's impossible. How could that possibly be? Here we are, and really started with 2025. We're seeing this, and it just even his face on a banner in the exterior of the Justice Department. It's so ridiculous. Matt has said this before, and I really think that he is onto something there. Matt has said that the way that Donald Trump operates is so cartoonish, like ultra megalomaniac villain. It's unbelievable. It's like you can't even create a villain like this that for comic books, movies, or whatever, because you're talking about someone who is absolutely embracing and living that. Now, going back to Bondi, she said she called for an end to the weaponization of law enforcement. She said occurred under the Biden administration, even though Biden's Attorney General Merrick Garland and Jack Smith, the special counsel who produced 2 cases against Trump, have said they followed the facts, the evidence, and the law in the decision-making. Bondi's critics, meanwhile, said that she was the one who had politicized the agency to do the president's bidding. Now, that's interesting because there is one thing I will sort of agree with there, is that the thing that unfortunate, while Biden was still president, with all of this, is simply this: is that Merrick Garland and Jack Smith, well, not so much Jack Smith, but really Merrick Garland, in my humble opinion, took way too long to get things moving on anything to do with getting any sort of action on any of the cases that Trump had. And I don't know. It really, if we could have moved along quicker with some of that stuff, especially like with the documents, especially with anything to do with January 6th. It'd be really interesting to see where we are, and that's unfortunate. Honestly, that's unfortunate because I just cannot believe that it would take us so long to get to a spot where Trump was able to get back in office and negate all of it, and it's really just a shame. And it's interesting to see that it's crumbling on the inside of the administration. It really is crumbling, and that's that is what it is. And hopefully that it continues to crumble. I don't know. We'll see, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that off and on during the rest of the program, because there's some very interesting things here. And Bondi, who defended Trump during his first impeachment trial, was the second choice to lead the Justice Department, picked for the role after former Representative Matt Gaetz of Florida withdrew his name from consideration amid scrutiny over sex trafficking allegations. Now, listen. Well, first of all, very outstanding, clearly, right? It's amazing what the modus operandi is for these people. They like to tell you what they don't. They're going to tell you what they don't like about the opposition. Bondi saying how she's going to run the department separate from how it was ran, and throwing out stuff that is simply not true, only for her then to actually do all of that during her time in this role. And it's the same thing with Trump saying all the stuff that Sleepy Joe Biden, this is all the stuff he's done, and we need to put a stop to this. And he's doing all the stuff he has always blamed Biden for, and he's doing it. Well, Biden didn't do it to begin with. So it's like, okay. And I've always said this, and I'll say it again, and I know we got to get the break here in a second, that quite frankly, what's the thing that makes me most sad is all the people that follow, and the people who don't want to appear they made a mistake voting for President Trump, so they keep holding on to that. And that's a shame, because what we need here is people to not do that so we can move things forward. I'm really looking forward to the next segment. We got George Feltenstein from the Warner Archive Collection joining us. We're going to have a great conversation. I hope you'll stick around, because there's a lot more to come. It's the Matt McNeil Show on AM 950.
Just look at your father and you'll see how you took off to him. Me and just...
Hey, it's Patrick. April showers are coming, and with them, they're bringing big savings all month long from our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. A lot of people out there understandably have held off on having their carpets cleaned during the messy winter season, but now that we're headed into the height of spring cleaning, bookings are going to start to fill up fast, so don't wait. It's time to step into a fresher, cleaner home this spring with Zero Res. Spring is a time for renewal. Let Zero Res help refresh your home with clean carpets, fresh floors, and improved air quality. Zero Res can remove winter's buildup in odors, preparing your home for the brighter days ahead. So don't wait and don't miss this deal. Right now it's buy one room of carpet cleaning, get another room of carpet done for free for as many rooms as you want, plus $599 on a whole system air duct cleaning. This deal won't last long. Go to ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 9520-RES and ask for the AM 950 special. Zero Res.
History Theater brings you Hungry Like the Wolf, a fresh comedy that weaves together history, humor, and meaningful social themes, all set against a memorable 80s backdrop with a love for Duran Duran. This lively production dives into labor rights and gender equity, featuring a cast of eccentric and bold characters. Get ready for an experience like no other at History Theater. Catch the exciting performances from March 19th to April 12th at the History Theater in downtown St. Paul. Grab your tickets today at historytheater.com.
What if I told you that toxic pesticides from crop seeds and lawns have spread all over Minnesota's lands and water, devastating wildlife and posing risks to our health? Well, it's true. But a coalition of Minnesota farmers, community members, anglers, and more are taking action to protect our state from neurotoxic pesticides. To learn more and get involved, visit cleanerseed.org. That's cleanerseed.org. And tune to Food Freedom Radio.
Greg Bakun here. I've been talking for a while about how spooky, fun, and fascinating the Minneapolis trolley tours are. But now there's big news. The Candlelight Ghost Tours now begin at the historic Pillsbury Club, a beautifully restored haunted mansion once owned by Charles Pillsbury himself. Believe it or not, the interior is nearly 200 years older than the exterior. How is that possible? You'll have to come out and find out. Before or after your tour, stop by the on-site market featuring a curated collection of handmade goods, artisan crafts, and locally inspired treasures. Perfect for picking up a keepsake to remember your haunting adventure. You'll also find exclusive spooky merchandise from Tales of the Crypt and Elvira. Then, climb aboard the climate-controlled trolley as we travel through Minneapolis's haunted hotspots, uncovering ghost stories that locals would rather keep buried. The mansion is restored to perfection, and there is no better way to spend an evening. Visit MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for tickets and more information.
And don't forget, I am on the radio every night from 10 to 11 p.m. Central Standard Time with my paranormal radio show, Ghost Box Radio with Greg Bakun. Hope that you give me a listen to sometime. Would really appreciate it. Tonight, as we're getting closer to Easter, I am going to be talking with author Robert K. Wilcox about the Shroud of Turin, something that's always interested me. So I hope that you join us and have a listen. That'd be great. I got to be honest here. There's a lot of people who say that they collect DVDs and Blu-rays, and when you go to their house and it's like one shelf and there's, maybe 25 or maybe even 50 Blu-rays. And I have thousands of DVD, Blu-rays, Laserdiscs, VHS. I've been collecting for, it's starting to feel like centuries, quite honestly, but I've been collecting for a very long time. I love films, and I love films that come out on physical media that have a lot of proper care and attention given to it. And the thing that I find very interesting, a lot of people are like, physical media is dying. I don't think it is. And we're going to talk with somebody right now who is not doing it alone, but I consider on the forefront of keeping physical media going and making it exciting for people to want to collect some of their favorite shows, movies, and animation. I am very happy. George Feltenstein is here with me. He is heads up the Warner Archive Collection, which is a fantastic collection of films and animation and TV shows that are curated and are really, really spruced up to look amazing. This is a subsidiary or part of Warner Brothers Studio. George, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well and very glad to be with you.
So I just want to say, first of all, and we talked a little bit earlier, but I have to say, I am so happy to have this conversation with you. Last year, in case people don't know, Warner Archive Collection had released something I've never thought I would be able to see on Blu-ray in December, the complete MGM Studios Hanna-Barbera Tom and Jerry collection. And I watch it all the time. You all took the time to restore it. The minute the first short came up, it actually kind of lost. Like I lost a little bit of breath there watching. It was incredible. So I have to just say, before we get any further, thank you for that. And I promise we'll stop the gushing right now. But thank you, George.
The kind words are very much appreciated. And I'm happy to say also that the Tom and Jerry collection we put together, which was all of their animated theatrical adventures that were shown on movie screens from 1940 to 1957. All of them were presented uncut, uncensored, and all together as one collection. And it sold very well. And that's ultimately what I got to do here, is make money for the company and take care of our library at the same time. And it's a very delicate dance, but Tom and Jerry's popularity has never really wavered. It's always been strong. And it's especially interesting to know they're even more popular outside the United States than here in the US. And I attribute that to the fact that they don't speak. It's just a visual set of gags. There are a couple of times where there were few words uttered by other characters, and I think one cartoon where Tom sang jazz, but basically they didn't speak. And the popularity of classic American animation intended for theaters during the golden era, where people went to a movie theater and saw a cartoon, a short, a trailer, a newsreel, possibly 2 or 3. That was going to the movies, and that's one of the things we try to do when we're releasing classic films on disc and restoring them, is to give a little bit more of that night at the movies feel, which is why we sometimes add a short or a cartoon or something to make it feel even more vintage. And we're very proud of it. But I'm very, very pleased to hear your very kind words about the Tom and Jerry collection, because it was a long, long time we fought to try to. There were certain cartoons that we were instructed by the attorneys and various other people here. They were concerned about content that was considered inappropriate in our current times. And I tried to make the case that these were made for adults, and if we market them to adults, adults can use their sensibility of knowing what to share with their kids and what might not be appropriate.
Yeah.
And fans came out in droves to buy it, and that made me very happy. A good Christmas present.
It really was. It really was. And we have about before we have to, we got George for a couple segments here, but we're going to go to break here in a couple minutes. So I want to be very quick about this. One thing too is just last month, it was the latest Looney Tunes collection. And one of the things that I think that really need to be stressed for this is that these are for the adult collector. And I really think you raised just a great point, that it's for the adult collector, that they can decide what they want to share with their children, because children will want to see Tom and Jerry, Bugs Bunny, and all that. I've not heard you say it that way before, and I think it's absolutely on point.
Well, that's why sometimes we have a disclaimer that says that these cartoons are a product of their time. In past years, they've been mutilated when they were shown on television. It was insulting to the audience and insulting to the creative people that made them. So we found a way. Some people don't like the disclaimer. They feel they're being talked down to. I don't agree with that. But ultimately, if that's the price you have to pay to be able to see things as they were originally meant to be seen, all the more for it, am I.
Absolutely. I never understood that either, to be perfectly honest, because I rather have 10 seconds of something on screen just saying what you're going to watch than not having access to it at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it comes down to. I don't want to ask this question right now, because I'm going to ask it when we get back from our break. But
Good.
The one thing I'm going to talk about when we get back will be the difference between what the Warner Archive collection is within Warner Brothers, because I think it's such a unique model. I'm just really, I've been such a fan for a long time. But I just want to quickly say, and we have just about a minute left here, just under a minute. Folks, if you're thinking we only talk about old films, like just coming out in April, if I'm not mistaken, is something like Private Benjamin, which you think that would have been just a Warner Brothers release. Part of the Warner Archive collection shows what a how much they trust you guys, I think. And we have about 10 seconds, 15 seconds before we go to break.
Well, people have been wanting Private Benjamin on Blu-ray for years and years. Blu-ray's been around almost 20 years as a format, which is pretty amazing. But it never had happened before, and we went back to the original negative to make it look fabulous. And people are very excited about it.
And we're going to keep up that conversation. Stay with us. We have more George Feltenstein coming up.
Come on, you know it's true. Work is almost bearable when the Stephanie Miller Show is on. AM 950 KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
In today's uncertain times, Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces believes that a fire can add comfort and security to your life. At Woodland, our mission is to connect you to a place for fire that works.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces installed our wood stove years ago, and we still love it. Watching the fire, feeling the heat is a joy we experience every day. And knowing we have a reliable heat source makes us feel snug and safe.
There are many choices in wood, gas, or electric. For diversity and styles, at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, we display over 180 models, and 35 of these are burning displays. You can experience the glow and warmth of a live fire.
Whether wood, gas, or electric, find a fire that warms your heart, a fire that adds comfort and security to your life. See the many choices at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, located on the corner of East Franklin and Riverside Avenue in Minneapolis, and online at woodlandstoves.com.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces since 1977. For over 48 years, our slogan has been, out of the ordinary products and services. Our mission is to get you a fireplace that works in your life.
Would you let animals pick your insurance? Do you really need to experience mayhem to get the best rates? Or how about a celebrity quarterback or fake university saving you money? There's a lot of marketing stunts when it comes to insurance, but what you really need is someone looking out for you. Call Array Insurance, and they will work hard to find you the best insurance coverage and rates. So avoid gimmicks and call Cheryl at Array, 763-504-3067. or arrayinsurance.com. Array Insurance, working hard for you.
Hey everyone, it's Ellie Krug, the host of the Legal Trans Woman that airs on Saturdays at 3 o'clock. I want to tell you about wonderful Big Hill Books, which recently hosted a discussion about my new book, Being Ellen. I had never been to Big Hill Books before, and wow, let me just tell you, it's a lovely open space of blonde wood floors, popping colors, and thousands of titles for readers of all ages. And Beth, the store owner, is incredibly welcoming. So please stop by Big Hill Books in Minneapolis, Bryn Mawr neighborhood. It's a place where you read, think, grow.
It's no secret that medical care costs are soaring, with nursing home and skilled nursing care costs being some of the highest. You don't have to deplete your savings in order to receive long-term care. At Schroman Law, we work with families to develop and implement strategic planning for medical assistance for long-term care, for assisted living, nursing home care, or home-based care. Contact us today to schedule a free consultation at schromanlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for a mix of rain and snow today with a high near 36. Tonight, more rain and snow with a low around 28. And Friday, rain with a high around 41. The Great Wall Restaurant brings classic Szechuan and Peking Mandarin dishes right to the Twin Cities, featuring favorites like pan-fried dumplings and fish fillet in ginger sauce. Stop by the Great Wall location at 4515 France Avenue South and browse their full extensive menu at greatwallrestaurant.us. That's greatwallrestaurant.us.
AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
It's the Matt McNeil Show. Greg Bakun filling in today. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you're having a good time as we, I talk politics on occasion, but mainly when I'm covering for Matt, I like to talk about stuff that interests me because I think some of it will interest you. And then what really interests me is watching movies and watching great content and seeing it all restored. And I was thrilled that George Feltenstein, who heads up the Warner Archive Collection, agreed to come on. It's very brief. This goes by so quickly. But one of the things I wanted to get to, George, is that, the Warner Archive Collection exists within Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers themselves put out a great deal of content, a home video, media, whatever. But Warner Archive Collection seems to have a very distinct philosophy. And I was wondering if you could kind of explain for people who may not quite understand what that means.
Sure. Well, when I started with this company, I came to Warner from being at MGM for many years. Before that, I was the head of the home video department at MGM. And the classic MGM library was owned by Turner Broadcasting, and Turner Broadcasting got purchased by Time Warner. So I moved from MGM UA Home Video to Warner Home Video. And I was the head of the senior vice president of theatrical catalog marketing. And I would say probably within the first several years of my tenure here, we developed an idea of how do we get more than just the Casablancas and Singing in the Rains of the world.
Yeah.
How do we get deep into our library, which is the industry's largest, because we have all Warner Brothers films, all MGM films made up through 1986, the RKO Radio Library, the Lorimar Library, the Hanna-Barbera Library, and it goes on and on and on. How do we get the second tier, if you will, of movies and television shows and animation that people want to own, but aren't top of mind? And so a colleague of mine who has since left the company, he saw that I was involved with the manufacture of soundtrack album CDs made from our films. I had produced about 100 of them in a joint venture we had with Rhino Records.
Yep.
And they were sold online, limited edition, a little bit of a higher price. When they're gone, very successful. And my colleague said to me, George, I have to find a way where we can apply your business model that you're doing with the CDs to DVDs. And from then on, we would see each other in the hallway, and I'm still working on it. I'm still coming up with a way. And finally, he came up with the idea of people ordering a DVD on our website, it being manufactured on demand so that there wasn't an excess of inventory. And returns of inventory are a very, very bad thing for a physical business. So it took about 3 years to get going. And then on March 23rd, got to get you the right year, 2009. March 23rd, 2009. Been doing this a long time, so it's I sometimes get a little bit confused. They keep saying 19, and it's like it's 2026. George, wake up!
Yeah.
But yes, on March 23rd, 2009, we opened the Warner Archive Collection for business. At that time, we had our own web store, and it was massively successful. We launched with 150 titles. We've been in the business now with the Warner Archive Collection as a boutique label. I call us the boutique within the behemoth.
Yeah.
So within Warner Brothers Home Entertainment, there's the Warner Archive Collection. And I actually shifted my responsibility from overall retail catalog to specifically focus on the Warner Archive Collection. We had a podcast starting in 2009, which is now a common thing, but at that time it wasn't. Yeah. I did that by myself for a long time. And then I had colleagues join me for a while. Then the whole thing kind of morphed into something that I now do with a former colleague by the name of Tim Millard, who has a web podcast called The Extras, and I'm on there about twice a month, letting people know what Warner Archive is releasing. So we started with 150 films. We're now at about 5,000, and included in that 5,000 are about 600 titles that are Blu-rays. And as the business grew and became more mature, we were also able to go from just DVDs that were manufactured on demand to Blu-rays, which were manufactured just the same way that discs are made that you buy in a store, if you can still find a store that sells physical media. And it was really around 2016 that we started doing the remastering ourselves, raising the bar. We continued to raise the bar. And Greg, as I speak to you now, I have about between 125 and 150 feature films, which have all been approved for restoration and remastering, and they're important, famous titles. We just released The Gay Divorcee with Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. There had never been a Blu-ray of Fred and Ginger movies coming from Warner. There had been one we licensed to the Criterion Collection. Great group of people whose business complements ours. But we are the only studio to have a boutique unit that focuses on classic properties as well as maybe something more recent that didn't get as much attention.
Yeah.
I would say the most recent in terms of date film we've released on Blu-ray was Christopher Guest's For Your Consideration, with the late, great Catherine O'Hara and the wonderful supporting cast that made all those films together, Waiting for Guffman, Mighty Wind, and Waiting for Your Consideration. Those are all Warner Archive Blu-rays. The film Best in Show did a little better at the box office, so that went through the traditional retail route. But that kind of is an examination of what we do. Right before we started having this conversation on your show, I was writing the package copy for a 1931 MGM movie that we're about to release that hasn't been seen probably since it came out because of legal issues that we just resolved. So we haven't announced it yet. I'm not going to announce it today, but it's the kind of thing we love to do. So from Bugs Bunny to, I'll just say, I'm trying to think of a contemporary performer, from Bugs Bunny to Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Those movies and great cartoons and television series, they're all part of our recipe for pleasing the collectible consumer and giving them physical media, which will live on and on and on. It doesn't disappear like something on a streaming service.
And the rumors of the death of physical media has been greatly exaggerated. So I think that's something that people need to understand. George, real fast, because we're running out of time. Hopefully someday you'll allow me to have a longer conversation with you. Like,
it'll be my pleasure.
Like 5 hours. So I'm not kidding, because you are just such a great wealth of knowledge. But I want to point people to finding where the Warner Archive collection is not hard per se, but being able to see in a nice packaged way on a website, like what's available, and to get them and purchase them. I'm going to direct you over to MovieZing. That's MovieZyng. And this is because it's a great way to see what's out there for the Warner Archive collection. Sometimes there's some great sales. But also, MovieZyng is in part a company based in Minnesota. As there's other components in other parts of the country as well, but Minnesota and Blair, who we work with, you work very closely with him. I work with him occasionally through reviews. It's a great company. It's a great way to get physical media, not going through a massive conglomerate company for it, and also be able to get stuff shipped pretty close, if not on release date. And MovieZyng.com is the web store owned by our manufacturing and distribution partners since we started the Warner Archive collection, Allied Vaughn Entertainment, which, as you said, is happily based in Minnesota. So we're spread all over the country, but we all partner together to bring the fans the films that they want to own, to have on their shelves with the best possible quality. And we've been inching our way into exploring 4K. It's very expensive. It's 4 times the cost, but the first 4Ks we released were very well received by the public, and we've got some big surprises coming as the year progresses in that regard. And I would recommend people listening to the extras, because I've remember hearing about The Searchers, which was the first of the 4K releases.
Yes.
But I never really given much thought. And the way that you and Tim talk about these releases are it's like a chef talking about the ingredients for making like a favorite piece of food. You salivate over the excitement of the restoration and stuff. So I got The Searchers, and I was immediately blown away by the 4K Searchers, and then followed up by High Society. It's absolutely incredible. And I really hope that some people who love film go check this out, go to Moviesing and check out the Warner Archive collection, because this is the best. I think it's absolutely the perfect label for people who love not just physical media, but all these great films and animation.
And I couldn't echo your passion and fervor for physical media more. I am of the belief that certainly the business has changed, but it's not going away. And right now is actually a golden age for physical media, because more wonderful films and television programs and animation are being released mostly by small companies that have licensed content from big studios. Most big studios have no interest in doing this. Warner Brothers is the only studio that does it. We do it ourselves, as well as we do license some content for sure.
Yeah.
But we do what's best for the specific motion picture or television property. And ultimately, our goal is to make people happy and to bring joy into people's lives, which is very much needed, especially nowadays.
It really is. It really is. And you really do. And there's a lot of great studios. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of great studios, boutique studios that put out some great content. I just got Salem's Lot from Arrow yesterday.
And that was licensed from us.
Oh, it would have been, wouldn't it? Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
What I do, I'm in charge of all the licensing. So I work with our partners to see what would fit best, because there are some things that are going to be very expensive. And we put all of our money into the remastering and the restoration. If we have a weak point, it's that we don't provide enough, to my taste, supplementary material. But I have to show black ink in the bottom line, not red ink. So when something deserves to have, like Salem's Lot from Arrow, the different versions and all these extra features, then it's a perfect title to go to Arrow, where they also have the passion for genre titles. So I always try to do what's best for each film, each television series. And I work very closely with committed colleagues. We're all very passionate about the library and making sure that we get it out of our vault and onto people's shelves.
That is perfect. George, thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure.
I'll be in touch, folks. Seattle and Chicago, we are done. Stick around for hour 2 with Dave Dahl. Thank you, everyone. We'll be back.
I love that music.
Hey, it's Patrick. April showers are coming, and with them, they're bringing big savings all month long from our cleaning heroes at Zero.
I'll sign off now.
A lot of people out there understandably have held off on having their carpets cleaned during the messy winter season. But now that we're headed into the height of spring cleaning, bookings are going to start to fill up fast, so don't wait. It's time to step into a fresher, cleaner home this spring with Zero Res. Spring is a time for renewal. Let Zero Res help refresh your home with clean carpets, fresh floors, and improved air quality. Zero Res can remove winter's buildup and odors, preparing your home for the brighter days ahead. So don't wait and don't miss this deal. Right now, it's buy one room of carpet cleaning, get another room of carpet done for free for as many rooms as you want, plus $599 on a whole system air duct cleaning. This deal won't last long. Go to ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 952-ZERO-RES and ask for the AM 950 special. Zero Res.
With Easter coming, Popped Corn, that's Popped corn.com, has all the flavors to put a smile on everyone's face. Popped Corn has many delicious flavors to choose from, like cheese made with real cheese, caramel, kettle corn, cinnamon toast, or try one of their great mixes like Windy City, featuring cheese and caramel. Their new flavor of the month is everything but the bagel, and they can ship their popcorn across the USA. Go to poppedcorn.com, enter the discount code MATT to get 10% off your order. That's discount code MATT at popcorn, Popped corn.com.
Greg Bakun here. It's nice to get out of the Twin Cities and take some travel excursion to some great locations. Minnesota has so much to offer, which is why I love traveling down to Wabasha and staying at the historic Anderson House Hotel. Opened in 1856, this beautiful hotel offers comfortable accommodations, has a delicious restaurant, and even a speakeasy in the basement to unwind with a drink. Located next to the Mississippi River and on Main Street, there is a lot of sightseeing and shopping to do too. To get more information, go to the AndersonHouseHotel.com.
Hi, this is Frank Brown with Minuteman Press Uptown. It's election season. If you're campaigning for a candidate, your outreach needs top quality union printed materials, from direct mail and yard signs to door hangers, buttons, t-shirts, and flyers. Minuteman Uptown is your union shop to get people to the polls. We print everything. We'll keep your candidate top of mind, target your message with a laser focus, and maximize your voter turnout efforts. Get started today at mpuptown.com. That's mpuptown.com.
Did you know Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakun airs 5 nights a week at 10 p.m.? That's 5 nights of talking about ghosts, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. We're talking about the paranormal every Monday through Friday with some of the most trusted names in the field. Join us and step into the unknown with Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakun, Monday through Friday at 10 p.m. Only if you dare.
It's the Matt McNeil Show. And one of the things that on my to-do list after the show today is learning how to tell time. As I just pretty much told everyone, we're done with hour one. We're not done with hour one, Patrick.
We are not, and we're glad to be with you.
We're glad to be with you, and I apologize for not being educated enough to know how time works. But it's all good. It's all good. Thank you, George Feltenstein, for taking time out of his day to talk with us. And I just, you might have picked up that I'm a little excited about physical media and these films. So, but I also want to quickly make sure that I point out thank you to Tim Millard of the Extras podcast. I just learned on Monday that I was going to be filling in on Thursday. So I'm like, who can I get in on the show that I'm interested in? And I reached out to Tim because I know he knows George. And Tim's just like, yeah, I could try to get this. But just so you know, I might be slower responding. I'm on vacation. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're on vacation. And he still worked with George to get George time to come on. And I really appreciate it. And I really want people who are interested in films, go check out the Extras podcast. It is available on Spotify. You can find Extras on Facebook. The Extras is also on YouTube. It's hosted by Tim Millard. And George, like he said, he's on there a couple times a month. I think he's on there often more than a couple times a month, especially when they're talking about some of the new releases. You also see folks like Jerry Beck on there, who is an animation historian who's been on this show when I have covered for Matt before. So this is really a lot of fun. And, like George said himself, sometimes life just kind of sucks, doesn't it? With what's going on around us and whatnot. For me to be able to watch some Bugs Bunny or Tom and Jerry, or to just see a film that looks lovingly restored, that's what it's about for me. It's nice and it's calming, and you can have family movie night. And as George says, that you can, with those discs, often you can have the trailer or a couple cartoons, just that old time movie experience. That's good stuff. And, I know that this is sounding like a long commercial, but honestly, I'm so passionate about these films and that this stuff is being preserved and saved that, I just want to share that. The weird part about it is I didn't get to ask any questions I wanted to. because George is passionate and he has a lot of great information. And I felt like the questions I was going to ask, maybe we could try to get some sort of special podcast or radio show or something on where we can maybe talk with George more, because we start off by telling our guests, like I always try to give them about a half an hour, and you're like, oh, half an hour, that should be plenty to fill, and like 2 minutes later the half an hour is up. So it's pretty crazy how quickly that goes. In the comments, I just have to mention that some folks are saying how cool the Minneapolis Trolley Tour sounds. You do want to go check that out. It's obviously Minnesota based, but it's a lot of fun. And then someone asks, does the trolley tour go past Mavericks roast beef? Because I talk about Mavericks on my show every night. I want to come to Minneapolis this summer, and it sounds like Mavericks would be my first stop, Kimberly says from Wisconsin. The trolley does not go past Mavericks. They're not very close to each other, but it doesn't mean you can't do both. And Mavericks, you like to eat, and I do. I think it's very obvious I like to eat. So you want to go check it out. Good roast beef sandwiches. Patrick and I have been to Mavericks together one night.
Yeah, absolutely. I would. It's worth the trip. It's not, like you said, it's not super far from Minneapolis, but you definitely want to take the time to head out there on the side, Kimberly. You won't regret it at all.
You won't regret it. And then it was unfortunate that night, though, because we went out to dinner together and we drove separately, and we're eating, and Patrick was just like, what's that over there? And I go look, and I turn back, he's gone. I mean, he paid for his stuff, but he was clear he was done for the evening with me. And I'll never forget that, Patrick.
I liked the roast beef. I didn't like the company.
Right. I didn't guarantee the company was going to be good. I only said that the roast beef sandwiches were going to be good. So that's not on me, but it is. And also one other thing, since we got Chicago folks in here, even though I told you we were done 8 minutes ago, we were not done. I just want to also point out, because I'm all about paranormal, spooky, and whatnot, there is a convention that's coming up nearby you. It's about an hour north. It's going back up to Wisconsin. It's the Contact Modalities Expo, May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And you are not going to want to miss this if you have any interest in this whatsoever. This is going to be at the stunning Lake Lawn Resort in southeastern Wisconsin. It is a 3-day experience, and if you have always wondered about UFOs and all the modalities that go along with it, or you are really into it, this is what you want to check out. Once again, that's May 1st through 3rd, and that's in Wisconsin. And you're gonna have a good time. It's not far from Chicago at all. Go to Contact Modalities xpo.com for more information. Contact Modalities xpo.com. When I come back for the second hour, because I like to talk about the weird, and it doesn't get any weirder than JD Vance. I want to talk about his thoughts on UFOs, because they are, as with everything with him, bizarre and just kind of sad, really. So we'll be talking about that. And also, because we never really talk about it on Ghost Box, I really don't talk about politics at all. I want to talk a little bit about President Trump and how he wants to declassify all the information on UFOs. I'm assuming that's just going to be in his mind, because that's how that works, I guess. That's the declassification process is in his mind. He's just like, it's declassified, and then that's what it is. So you got that, but the main thing is, and folks, if you are in Seattle, Chicago, maybe try to find this later. We're going to have, I consider, local legend in Minnesota, Dave Dahl. He's going to be joining us talking about severe weather. This is truly the end of hour one. Seattle, Chicago, Ellie Krug will take care of you tomorrow. We'll be back.
Greg Bakun here. Like you, I love good, fresh, delicious food. So I want to tell you about this treasure in Roseville called Maverick's Real Roast Beef. Maverick's has the best roast beef sandwiches I've ever had. Made fresh every order. Add fries or onion rings dropped in the fryer when ordered, and you have a winning combination. Maverick's Real Roast Beef has a lot more than roast beef, so check out their website, mavericksbeef.com, or check out their restaurant on Lexington in Roseville.
Step into Forts, a fort-building wonderland, a children's theater company only through April 5th. Theatrical elements, evolving light and soundscapes, and towers of cardboard boxes set the scene for creative play. Build the tallest fort, the longest fort, or tons of cozy little forts. Design a castle or a neighborhood. Your imagination leads the way as you play freely and create shared stories together in real life. Forts at CTC only through April 5th. Spring break weekdays available. Tickets at childrenstheater.org.
Hey, Minnesota, it's Brad Friedman, host of the Bradcast. You're listening to AM 950 KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. Pam Bondi is out as U.S. Attorney General. In a statement, Bondi calls the job the honor of a lifetime and says she'll be working over the next month to transition the post to Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, one of President Trump's former personal lawyers. He'll become Acting Attorney General. Donna Warder has more.
Two people familiar with the matter say President Trump discussed privately firing Bondi and replacing her with Lee Zeldin, the administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency. Sources say in those conversations, Trump discussed his ongoing frustration with Bondi over the handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files, as well as hurdles the Justice Department has faced while investigating Trump's perceived enemies. Donna Warder, Washington.
Iran today fired more missiles at Israel and Gulf Arab states, demonstrating Tehran's continued ability to attack after President Trump again claimed in his address to the nation last night that the threat from the country has been nearly eliminated. John Gambrell reports Iran maintains a chokehold on the Strait of Hormuz, through which 20% of the world's oil and natural gas usually flows.
We don't know if Trump is going to be willing to use force and ground troops to reopen the strait. Right now, energy shipments are just disrupted around the world, and we've seen Brent crude, that benchmark oil price, just spike by about 5% in the immediate aftermath of the speech. That shows that markets are concerned that this war is going to drag on, and everything we've heard from Trump suggests that he was asking the American people for patience, meaning this war is not yet over.
Stocks largely recovered from early losses and closed with a weekly gain. The S&P finished the day up about 0.1%, the Nasdaq 0.2%, but the Dow fell, losing 61 points. Stock markets will be closed tomorrow for Good Friday. Jobless claims fell last week, and mortgage rates are up again. Freddie Mac puts the average 30-year at 6.46%. This is AP News.
Hi, Flo here from Progressive. You know, life changes quickly, so it's good to have flexible coverage.
Oh, you mean like adding another vehicle?
Yes, that's something we can do.
Great, because I was thinking about getting a van so we could just keep the kids' softball stuff in the car.
Oh, we don't need to get into specifics. Just saying it's easy to change.
Oh, and Hannah wants to try the tuba.
Again, we don't need the specifics.
Last year, she wanted to be a tap dancer, but that only lasted 2 lessons.
Okay.
But she kept the shoes because they are adorable.
Well, just know that with Progressive, you can easily add another car to your auto insurance because we know life changes.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Peace of mind shouldn't cost a fortune. We keep things simple at Schroman Law because we believe planning for your estate and end-of-life care shouldn't be stressful or expensive. Every client relationship starts with a free consultation so clients have the information they need before making important decisions. From there, we work closely with clients to ensure they are choosing the most efficient and cost-effective plans for their specific needs. Schedule a free consultation today at schromenlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
This is Alex Knorr from Buzzcut Mowing, a young, hardworking entrepreneur serving the Southwest Metro with affordable lawn care. I take the hard work off your plate with weekly mowing. I also offer leaf cleanups, aeration, dethatching, tree trimming, and mulch installation. I'll keep your lawn beautiful so you can enjoy your weekends with the people who matter most. Visit buzzcutmowingmn.com. That's buzzcutmowingmn.com.
Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for a mix of rain and snow today with a high near 36. Tonight, more rain and snow with a low around 28. And Friday, rain with a high around 41. The Great Wall Restaurant brings classic Szechuan and Peking Mandarin dishes right to the Twin Cities, featuring favorites like pan-fried dumplings and fish fillet in ginger sauce. Stop by the Great Wall location at 4515 France Avenue South and browse their full extensive menu at greatwallrestaurant.us. That's greatwallrestaurant.us.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
Hour number 2 of the Matt McNeil Show. My name is Greg Bakun, filling in for Matt today. Thank you very much for joining us, and thank you to Blue Amp Media for joining us as well. You can go and visit them over at blueamp.com, Substack, and thank you all for joining us tonight. Matt is currently at the National Build-A-Bear Championship in Anaheim, California, so we wish him well that he makes it into the semifinals for that. Where do we begin? There's a lot going on here. First of all, I have to say that I'm kind of honored to be here today because we start the week off with Bruce filling in. Then yesterday and the day before, Tuesday, we had Philip and Austin, and then we had Philip and Jerome yesterday. So, Patrick, I'm hoping that I can kind of stack up with the rest of them, so to speak.
No, I think you're doing absolutely fantastic today. Obviously, that interview with George Feldenstein, that was a highlight interview. That's I think that was a great get to have him on.
He was fun. He was really good. And in this hour, we're going to have Dave Dahl join us. And I've been a fan of Dave for a long, long time. And I'm going to share a story with him when we bring him on that there's no way he's going to remember it, but it goes to show what an act of kindness can do, that someone who's always kind is going to do something. They don't really think about it again, but it might stay with somebody for the rest of their lives. And I think that's really important, and that's really good as well. I talked a little bit before we ended the first hour. I wanted to talk about, because as many of you know, I do a radio show every night, 10 to 11 p.m. Central Standard Time, called Ghost Box Radio. And we talk about all sorts of paranormal stuff. And there's certain things I don't talk about on the show, mainly because I don't talk about politics on the show at all. Just kind of as a respite for politics. And I think this is politics light, what I'm going to talk about here real fast. And that is J.D. Vance, the Vice President of the United States, said this weekend that he considers aliens to be demons. Okay, demons, and they maybe they are. I mean, I don't know. With the war in Iran continuing and petrol and grocery prices soaring, regardless of what the current administration says, and chaos continuing at U.S. airports as a partial government shutdown endures, Vance appeared on the conservative Benny Show podcast, not to be confused with Benny Hill, or maybe it can be, I don't know, released on Saturday to promise that he would spend time looking into what he called his obsession with UFOs and extraterrestrial visitors. Benny Johnson, who bills his show as the place for cutting behind-the-scenes insight into global conflict and for freedom, and wondered if Vance, who has been noticeably quiet about Donald Trump's war in the Middle East, that he said to oppose, had yet looked at any of the files about unidentified flying objects, known these days as unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAP. I don't like that. I prefer just UFO. I'm old school, I guess. And that is which President Trump has promised to release. When asked if he had looked into these files at all, Vance says, "I actually haven't," mustering significantly more enthusiasm than for any previous question about the U.S.-Israel military strike on Iran. Well, we know where his priorities lie, I guess. I've not been able to spend enough time on this, but I'm going to. Trust me, I'm obsessed with this. I bet you are. The God-fearing vice president's fixation, it was further revealed, extend to the question of the existence of extraplanetary beings and where they might fit into a wider conversation about religion. I don't think they're aliens. I think they're demons anyway, but that's a longer discussion. Now, folks, you know that I kind of live in this realm, so to speak. And I know there's a lot of people out there like don't believe in any of this whatsoever. So I completely understand, and I can completely understand if you're listening to me right now and you're laughing your head off about not the story, but even the fact that I say that I believe. No problem. But I just think that even saying that they're demons is even more archaic than if anyone thinks that it's weird that I believe in aliens at all. Now, Johnson asked him to explain further about his demon comment. And he says, well, look, I think that celestial beings who fly around, who do weird things to people, I think that's the desire to describe everything celestial, everything is otherworldly, to describe it as aliens. Or is that not exactly what aliens are? Every great world religion, including Christianity, the one that I believe in, has understood that there are weird things out there, and there are things that are very difficult to explain. And I naturally go, when I hear about sort of extra natural phenomenon, that's where I go, is the Christian understanding that, there's a lot of good out there, but there's also some evil out there. Wow. Well, I didn't know that. That's news. Thanks, JD Vance. Then let me summarize for you all. There is good and evil out there. Yeah, thanks. I think that one of the devil's great tricks is to convince people he never existed or he became president. One of the two. You decide. Vance's musing and promise to get to the bottom of it came as both Trump and his predecessor, Barack Obama, opened themselves to scrutiny over what they knew about UAPs. Obama was forced to make a hasty clarification last month after initially declaring aliens real on the American podcast with Brian Tyler Cohen. In a social media statement issued hours later, the former president insisted he was merely trying to stick with the spirit of fast-paced questioning, and that if aliens were real, he saw no evidence during his presidency. And almost inevitably, Trump weighed in, announcing on his Truth Social platform that he has instructed various agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to aliens and extraterrestrial life, and any and all the other information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters. So earlier this month, the U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency registered the alien.gov URL and alien.gov web domains, adding both to the official government website registry and sparking another round of speculation what, if anything, the government really knows. JD Vance just says, we're working on it, replied when Johnson asked him if government was really going to release the files. So, I don't know. It's really interesting. And if you ever listen to my show, we have we have experiencers, is what we call them, people who say that they've been on ships, that they have had encounters. We try to do a really good job of bringing in people who sound credible. And there's a lot of people who come to me, they don't sound credible. But I'll be honest, I've never heard anyone say that they thought, that they're demons, and certainly not saying so without doing a scrap of research on it whatsoever. But that's just kind of the way that this has all been working lately. And I don't know, it is what it is in terms of all that. But we'll see first if the president does release any files as time goes on, or we forget it. But the one thing that in my universe of this paranormal stuff that got the community buzzing, though, was those URLs being registered, the alien.gov register. Very interesting. We'll see what happens with that. Why don't we go ahead and do this? I want to go ahead and take our first break this hour. When we come back, I want to talk. I can't wait. I'm going to talk about Severe Weather Awareness Month and all sorts of weather-related stuff with our special guest coming up, meteorologist Dave Dahl. You do not want to miss this. Stick around. It's a Matt McNeil Show.
Get ready for Easter fun with the annual Easter brunch at the Park Tavern. Enjoy Easter ham, all your Easter breakfast and brunch favorites, and all the sides and desserts. Seatings are from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sunday, April 5th, and you need reservations. $29.95 for adults, $19.95 for those over 65 and under 12 years old, and 5 and under are free. And don't forget the hour of free bowling with every reservation. Call 952-929-6810 on Louisiana Avenue, north of Highway 7 in St. Louis Park. Enjoy a delicious, stress-free Easter with the Park Tavern.
Would you let animals pick your insurance? Do you really need to experience mayhem to get the best rates? Or how about a celebrity quarterback or fake university saving you money? There's a lot of marketing stunts when it comes to insurance, but what you really need is someone looking out for you. Call Array Insurance, and they will work hard to find you the best insurance coverage and rates. To avoid gimmicks, call Cheryl at Array, 763-504-3067, or arrayinsurance.com. Array Insurance, working hard for you.
In an era defined by fear and silence, one woman dared to stand alone against the tide. Theater in the Round Players presents Conscience, the inspiring true story of Senator Margaret Chase Smith. In 1950, Smith became the first woman to challenge McCarthyism on the Senate floor. This powerful drama captures her courageous declaration of conscience, a moment of political integrity that resonates deeply today. Witness this stirring portrait of moral courage from March 27th through April 19th. Tickets and more information at theaterintheround.org.
At Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, our job is to help you find a place for fire. Our displays include over 180 models in diverse styles, and we have over 35 burning displays. Come and experience the glow and warmth of a live fire.
Some say there are only two seasons in Minnesota, road construction and winter. Hi, this is Laura, and I agree there are two seasons in Minnesota, summer and fireplace season. I bought my wood stove for Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces in 2005, and every season after summer comes the time when we fire up the wood stove, get out our favorite music, and discover the warmth of fire. Our dog Pumpkin remembers the fire too. He stations himself right there, legs up in the air, just enjoying the warmth of the fire. With the wood stove, we are able to keep the main area of the house toasty warm, while the thermostat is set at an energy-efficient 64 degrees. Discover your fireplace season. Visit Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces today.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, out of the ordinary products and services since 1977.
What if I told you that toxic pesticides from crop seeds and lawns have spread all over Minnesota's lands and water, devastating wildlife and posing risks to our health? Well, it's true. But a coalition of Minnesota farmers, community members, anglers, and more are taking action to protect our state from neurotoxic pesticides. To learn more and get involved, visit cleanerseed.org. That's cleanerseed.org. And tune to Food Freedom Radio.
It's the Matt McNeil Show. My name is Greg Bakun. Thank you for joining us as Matt is out this week. And joining tomorrow as guest host will be Ellie Krug. That's going to be a fantastic episode. Whenever Ellie is on, I make sure to stop and listen. A very smart human being who has a lot of interesting insights. So do not miss tomorrow's program. I am very happy, and I'm just so excited that this all came together so quickly that I have with me today special guest, and hope he doesn't mind me saying this. Call him Minnesota legend. How about that? Let's start with that. Minnesota legend, meteorologist Dave Dahl. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Greg. Thank you very much for having me on your program. This is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to a nice conversation with you.
Well, and the funny thing is, it's like you could say legend, and it might be, oh, that's really nice. At the same time, it's like, wait a minute, what are you saying?
I'm old.
Yeah, what are you saying here? What am I age?
Very old. Been around for a long time.
how long were you at KSTP?
43 and a half years.
And the reason why I ask this is because I got a story to share with you, and you may not like this story actually, because it's all about time again. A friend, I don't know how this worked out, but a friend of mine, his dad, I don't know if he knew you or if he knew someone else at KSTP, but we ended up getting a tour of KSTP, had to been like 87, 88, something like that. And you gave us the tour out of your own time that day at the station. And it wasn't like just a quick, you walked us around and everything. And Hubbard, KSTP headquarters is a big place. It's quite the studio, and you walked us all around there, and that was a highlight. That was really cool.
Thank you. I always enjoyed doing that when people would come to the station, because a lot of them had never been in a station before. Yeah. And I was so proud to work for KSTP and Hubbard Broadcasting, just because I knew how much that meant to the Hubbard family. And the stuff that they put in our weather office was amazing. And I think I used to love to see the eyes get big when the kids would see some of the things that, we use on the air every day. It was always a pleasure of mine to invite people in.
It was a lot of fun. I do remember that there was another tour there of school children, maybe our age or a little bit younger, and they were on a separate tour. But we were in the weather center, and some kid came up and he pressed a button on the computer. I kid you not, pressed a button on the computer, and everything went blank. And there's like 3 other people running towards the computer.
That has happened before. It happened probably several times. We always say before they come into the weather office, please don't touch anything. But that almost attracts kids to touch stuff.
Absolutely. My friend Tom and I were well behaved, but we were just like, whoa, okay. Well, looks like that weathercast might be a little delayed tonight. And I have to say also that I started off my career in broadcasting down in Mankato, and I worked with Jonathan Uhas.
Oh yeah, Jonathan, great guy. I love him.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I
do. The guy is very, very bright, and he worked down in Mankato for a while.
He is. Though my favorite is, we're getting into Easter. We're all prone to misspellings, and in the last hour, I ended the hour about 8 minutes early, so you can see the quality that I bring to the program. But he wrote, instead of gentle weather on his map, it was Gentile weather, so it's just kind of like we never let him forget that ever.
That's
ever.
Good. I'll have to bring that up to him and see what he probably will smile.
He may not remember. I mean, I hate to say it was like 30 years ago, but so it was a lot of fun. Now I have to ask you as well, now being retired, have you had like a green screen installed in your house, and that you like to make your family watch you do like weather updates so that you don't lose track of it?
I don't. I miss the green screen. That's something that I always wanted to put one of those in my house, but I never did. I do. I guess I would feel kind of funny if my family didn't ask me what the weather was, but for every event that we go to, every Thanksgiving, Christmas, they'll ask me the weather. They always do, and I look at it every day. I want to kind of have a quick answer for most people that know that I did the weather for so long, but it's part of my being, and it's part of me. My life in Minnesota was all about weather, even when I was a little kid.
Absolutely. Well, it would be weird if your family was like, yeah, we checked. Ian Leonard says that it's going to be.
Yes, that would be hurtful, I think. But
So, and originally, what we wanted to talk about was severe weather awareness, and it's odd because we're kind of in severe weather at the moment, but not exactly the severe weather that I had in mind that we're going to be talking about today. That we're still, spring is trying to climb its way through, and it's like, no, we're still going to throw some ice at you. Oh, we lost you. We lost your sound. I'm just going to say real fast that.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. I was just going to say that, Minnesota wouldn't be Minnesota if we didn't get thrown this curveball, because every spring it seems like, we get teased with 70s, and then all of a sudden the next week we're in the 30s. We got snow on the ground, and that's just part of living in Minnesota. I as a kid, I remember, big storms. The middle of March, the Ides of March were always my favorite time of the year because of big snowstorms. Snowstorms really were not only a challenge to predict, but exciting. They were exciting. It's horrible. I hate the trap, driving through them now. I realize as a kid, why did I like this stuff? Well, it's because it's fun to play in too.
And you know that it's not going to last long in March. It's going to next day it's going to be gone. So we lost you again. Your mic is rebelling against you.
Well, isn't this crazy? Do you hear it now?
I hear you now.
What is wrong? I'm going to have to keep my finger on the button. Speaking of buttons, sorry about that. I don't know why it keeps on muting on me, but I can't figure it out. Okay. Anyhow, I'll try to. If you just tell me when you can't hear me anymore.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. It's interesting because, like you said that, but April is always about getting us ready for the severe weather season of tornadoes and severe thunderstorms. I was thinking to myself on the drive in, it's like, well, why are we talking about this? We know about this every year. Do you think people really pay enough attention to this as we get into the season? Because I think a lot of people might think, it's fine. I'll just go downstairs if I need to. But there's a little bit more to it, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. This is the time of the year when the systems clash because of the big swings in temperature. It goes from warm to cold, and the atmosphere doesn't like that. It likes to be more uniform. And when there's big differences between over a short period of distance, that really causes problems. And this is the time of the year when this is happening. As a matter of fact, right now, there's a tornado watch, and there have been 2 tornado warnings down in central Iowa. So that severe weather zone is shifting northward gradually. And I think, our typical time of the year for severe weather is starting in May, goes through June, July, August, even into September. We get big hail events. Not so much tornado events that late in the season, but hail seems to be, it favors that time of the year. So September is usually the month when we get the biggest hails here in Minnesota.
Do you have recommendations for, like, what is the most important thing to do to get ready for severe weather season coming up?
That's why we do the Severe Weather Awareness Week. I think the National Weather Service wants you to think ahead and have a plan in place for if there was a tornado warning, where would you go in your home? Yep. And make sure that all the kids know the safest place to be, and then stay in that safe place. So there are places to be at home when you're out and you can't get inside. Safest places are in a low-lying area in a ditch. Make sure if there's a tornado coming right at you, you want to be down in a low spot. And if you're in a building, usually buildings have the severe weather awareness signs that are yellow and black with a black tornado on them, and it tells you where to go in the event of severe weather. And I think most of the buildings in Minnesota have those posted.
And one thing that we've learned over time, and you probably knew this all along, but for a while it seemed like, because you see so many people do it, but this is exactly what you should not do, from what I understand, is like if you're in a path of tornado and you're on like a freeway, don't go into a bridge and go up into the far up, right?
Right, exactly, because it's a wind tunnel, and it becomes we've noticed many times very dangerous conditions develop when you try to force wind through a smaller area. And if you're up underneath the bridge in a small, you'll get sucked out of there. And we've noticed that, many, many times, especially down in places like Oklahoma. There was a really big event that was unfortunate and killed several people because they did get up underneath the bridge.
Yeah.
So all those things are critical, and knowledge that, you don't think about. So now this week or month that we have here, think about those safe places. Where would you go in the event of a tornado? If you're in your car, always remember to get out of your car and lie in a ditch away from your car, because your car is probably going to get picked up. That's very easily picked up, and you want to be safely a distance away from that.
And I suppose, too, like you said, and I remember looking this morning just at a general weather map and exactly where you said the tornado watch is now in Iowa. They have the map with the different circles of severity of the possibility of certain types of weather. It's as simple as that, starting your day off, right? And just looking at that so that because conditions change on a dime often. We lost you. You again.
Greg. Now can they have slight risk. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, they have slight risk areas, and that's usually a large yellow circle, and then it gets a light orange if it's goes to a moderate, and then a red if it's high risk. And those, as you said, Greg, you can look at that on the way out the door and say, oh, I guess I do have to keep my eye on the sky. They always say, keep your eye to the sky.
Absolutely. That's and it is nothing simpler than that, quite frankly. Dave, what I'd like to do is I'd like to get a break in here. And when we come back, there's a comment in here that I want to address because I was thinking about this myself. And I also would like to talk about your journey with cancer. Okay. And talk about that as well. Folks, this is a great conversation. We have with us meteorologist Dave Dahl. Don't go anywhere. It's the Matt McNeil Show.
Hi, this is Frank Brown of Minuteman Press Uptown with a question for our listeners. How important are business values to you? When you need high-quality digital print, it matters who you work with. You see, Minuteman Uptown is unique. We're one of the only union print shops in Minnesota providing our team with living wages and benefits. We believe in second chances for justice-impacted individuals who want to contribute to the community, and we are active in local issues. We've been in the streets standing up for racial, social, and economic justice. At Minuteman Uptown, our mission is to connect all communities through technology-driven print solutions. An example of that mission is when I moved Minuteman Uptown to North Minneapolis. We're invested in this local community, and we help small businesses and local organizations throughout the Twin Cities reach their audiences. Reach out to Minuteman Uptown and partner with a printer that shares your values. Call us today at 612-870-0777 or visit us at mpuptown.com. That's mpuptown.com.
Greg Bakun here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey, bacon, avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com.
Hey, it's Tom Hartman, and here's a thought I keep coming back to. Your utility company raised its rates last year. It'll raise them next year and the year after that. And you have no vote, no say, and no alternative, unless you generate your own power. That's what solar makes possible for your home and your business. All Energy Solar has been helping homeowners and commercial operators take back control of their energy since 2009. They design every system specifically for you, your property, your usage, your goals. No cookie cutter solutions, no pressure, just honest answers and expert work. Minnesota homeowners also benefit from sales tax, property tax exemptions, and some local incentives depending on where you live. And commercial customers can still get access to the 30% federal investment tax credit through 2027. But you have to act soon. The sun shows up every day and asks nothing in return. All Energy Solar helps you capture it. Visit allenergysolar.com or call 800-620-3370 for your free evaluation today.
So when you get to the corner of Smith and Orchard, you're going to want to take a left.
You're not going to.
Then what you're going to do is turn onto
Marcy
Marcy
and Brett just
Avenue
broke up,
and go past the
and
first 3
apparently she's
lights
happy
and then
about
take
it.
the next left.
I don't really
Then drive
think
5
she's
more
happy,
blocks
but
and you should be
who am
there.
I to judge, right?
Park on the
Anyway,
right.
that's
I'll
what
see
I
you
heard
later
last
tonight.
night.
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, rain snow mix possible with a low of 26. Then Friday, rain and storms possible with a high of 42. The Great Wall has been your home for Chinese favorites since 1981. Don't miss the sesame chicken, mushu pork with Chinese pancakes, or Peking duck. Stop in at the restaurant on France Avenue and 45th Street along the Minneapolis-Edina City line, or check them out at greatwallrestaurant.us.
You're listening to AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Get back in line. It all takes time. It's just around the corner. Better than you could imagine. Wait your turn.
It's the Matt McNeil Show. I'm Greg Bakun, filling in for him today. Tomorrow, we will have Ellie Krug step in and be the host tomorrow. You're really gonna love what she has to say. She's so smart. It's a pleasure to listen to her, and it's a pleasure to listen to our guest when his mic works.
Sorry so much, Greg. I don't know what's going on. I tried to figure it out, but we'll fix it.
It's all fine because all it does, it moves the attention away from the amateur host, and it just that's fine by me.
You're a great host. You're a great host, Greg.
My first instinct was that when the mic wasn't working, I just assumed it was Patrick that he was screwing up. So that just. I mean, Patrick, come on, you have to agree that makes sense, right?
Well, the way this week has gone, I thought I did screw up.
No, it's not your fault. It's all mine. Right here in my computer. Computers. We used to say that in the very beginning when I started. They're designing the wheel. That's a joke. But we always said once computers came on that it's the computer's fault. We had somebody to blame, and it was a computer. Okay, yeah, that's why we got 23 inches of snow rather than 2.
Well, and I just love the fact, when I was, designing the wheel, but that project was pushed aside when they discovered fire. I mean, so.
So you remember that too?
Yeah. Now it's interesting because Chuck in the comments here says the meteorologist is the hardest job. Predicting weather is not always easy. And I was thinking about this today, and we still get this to this day. And in my lifetime, I really feel like that prediction of weather has really gotten very good. I really think that you're getting on your apps, it's saying that at in 10 minutes you're going to get rain, and you do get rain, and it's pretty good. But as on air especially, it had to have been tough to get people. I mean, I'm sure you got plenty of people like, you can't ever get it right and stuff like that. I mean, do you just punch them, or is there a more delicate way of handling it?
The good thing back in the day, they had to actually write a letter, take time to write a letter, because there wasn't, email, and there wasn't text messages. So they had to write a letter to us, and we didn't get as many. Boy, once text messages came out and emailing, I mean, we just got tons, and they would never put their name on it. They'd tell us how poorly we're doing, and never be anonymous. And it was so easy for them to, downgrade us, I thought. But okay, I'm going to give you an example of how computers have really changed everything.
Yeah.
Computers, back in the day, we'd give a forecast, and this was the fact. If we were expecting 4 inches or more, that was heavy snow. So if we got 8, we got it right, nailed it. If we just said 4 inches or more. And then all of a sudden the programs got so specific, they could tell us that in Fridley, there's going to be 3 inches. In Burnsville, there's going to be 5. And we put those numbers in there. So if we were off by a couple inches, we blew the forecast. And it's crazy how the computer has made it more specific and better, as you said. I mean, predicting 5 inches of snow and they get 6, that's pretty good. When you're predicting heavy snow and you say 4 inches or more and you get 12, you're right. No, it's a lot better now. With more specific.
It really is. And, and I was also thinking too, and one of the things I love, watching on the Weather Channel or other stuff is you can really dive into a radar and see the hook formation when it's coming to severe thunderstorms and tornadic activity, where you can be if you're here, you need to go to cover, you need to go for protection right now because it is on top of you. That's the sort of thing that did the best you all could back in the late 80s, early 90s, but it's not on par with what you have today.
Yeah, exactly, Greg. I think.
We lost your audio again. Yep, still can't hear you. It's now working against you. Well,
how about this?
How about that? That's much better. Thank
Can
you.
you hear it?
Yeah, I
Okay.
hear you.
All right. We were talking about the tornado.
Yeah.
And the fact that the computer that's within the Doppler radar can show us not only rotation, hook echo, we don't need the Doppler. We can just see that from the echoes.
Yeah.
But then when we want to see wind motion, we look at the Doppler. And the Doppler tells us the direction of the wind, the speed of the wind. And when there's circulation, we usually say that there's a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. We don't know for sure unless there's eyes on that storm. And that's a wonderful thing that we have about chasers. And you used to chase too.
Yep.
And I think, and you probably still do, it's the eyes on the storm that.
Hope we lost your audio again. Well, someone's working against you today, Dave. I don't know who it is, but someone is. They don't want to hear what you have to say. Oh, still can't hear you. You're
How about now?
Now we got you.
You got me. Okay. I'm so sorry, Greg.
No, that's quite all right.
I thought, we tested the sound and it worked fine for 3 minutes. Anyhow, the specifics that we get from storm chasers are great. And I think they've saved many lives. They put themselves in danger, but a lot of storm chasers know exactly what to do and they don't put themselves in danger. They stay a safe distance away and they know which direction that storm is moving, so they stay out of its way. And I'm just very happy. I know storm chaser. I chased storms while I was at KSTP for many years, and I'm just very proud of the work that they do that gives us a lot of very helpful information.
Now, I want to get to another topic here, but real fast, I presume that certain weather events that happen in the Twin Cities, you kind of remember the way that, people really into sports remember great moments of like, a wide receiver catching for a touchdown or something. I just want to say this. I lived in St. Anthony Village in 1984 when, the tornado came through Thursday. Was it April 24th, 1984, somewhere around there. I know it's 84, took out Apache Plaza and
Yep. That was a terrible storm. And I lived in Northeast Minneapolis at that point.
Oh,
and did some damage to our home.
Oh,
and,
wow.
But that was a night where I was at KSTP too. And my counterpart, Dennis Feltgen, if you remember Dennis, he was there with me that night. And we were, we were amazed at how early in the season, it was early, it was April, it was early April, I think, when this storm hit.
Yeah.
And it was very powerful and a devastating storm that I believe 2 people died, unfortunately.
Yeah. It was really, really bad. But I mean, it cemented my love, though, oddly, in weather and being alert about it as well. I appreciate that we don't have a ton of time with you left. So I want to move on to talking about your battle that you had with cancer, because as we talked earlier, one thing that I think really that we're going to be able to do, and what you're going to do actually, is be able to kind of help people kind of get ahead of things to check for themselves for like skin cancer as well.
Yeah, it's the awareness thing that thank you for bringing it up, by the way, Greg, because we want to make people aware of something that's deadly out there. And that's skin cancer. A lot of people have seen little marks on their skin, don't know what they are. Usually if they're concentric, they're fine. But this is just a general speaking. If they have a very rough edge or weird edge to that spot, that's something to get looked at. And I just think it's a good idea for all of us to go to our favorite dermatologists. And we have a couple of them here around the Twin Cities that are just awesome. And I really appreciate the work that they do because they bring this to everybody's attention. Wear sunscreen, wear protective clothing. If you're out in the sun a lot, you need to do that because it's very easy to get. There's so many skin cancers out there. So I had skin cancer. I did have melanoma in one spot. That's the most dangerous kind. It spreads very fast.
Wow.
It started out the size of an eraser on a pencil. And by the time I went in to get it checked, which was like 2 months later, it was the size of $50.
Oh,
so, and I thought it was an age spot because I'm old. So I thought, okay, this is just an age spot, but it wasn't. and it was melanoma. So I was very fortunate that they noticed that and I got it off.
And I don't. These aren't like commercials at the moment, but at the same time, you talk about one place in particular that saved your life.
Yeah, dermatology consultants actually were the first place that I went to. Advanced Dermatology is another.
Hope we lost you again. So, I mean, it seems like it's that time of year where you're not only checking about severe weather, you also want to, it's going to become the season of sun tanning and being out in the hot sun. It's worthwhile to wear the sunscreen. But yes, the places that you were talking about.
Yeah. Dermatology consultants and Julie Kronk was the doctor, and she was awesome. She actually saw a spot on my leg that I'd had it there for 5 years, and I never got it checked. And she said, "Yeah, this is cancer," and took it off and got rid of it all. But unfortunately, I'm fair skinned, so I get a lot of cancers, a lot of skin cancers. And I have, I just had 5 spots taken off not too long ago, about a week ago. And I really appreciate you bringing this up, because I think the awareness, if you catch it fast, catch it early, you're going to be fine. And that's what we look forward to doing.
And I suppose, I mean, with what you just said too, it's not one and done. It may not be one and done. It may be. I mean, it depends on the person, but it is a continual check as well. It's not just, oh, well, I did what Dave Dahl said. I went in and they said there was nothing. I'm good. No. You want to keep going back, don't you?
Absolutely. Very, very good point. If you're prone to getting it once, you're going to probably get it again. And if you even haven't had it through my dad didn't get it until he was in his 90s, and then he had skin cancer. So you may not notice it for a while, but then all of a sudden, things start to pop up, and you should get it checked.
Absolutely. And going back to the weather real fast, once again, as we were saying, please just be prepared. Keep your eye on what the weather is going on. Yeah, keep your eyes on the sky. There's nothing more simpler than that. Dave, this has been so much fun. I hope you'll come back sometime.
I will love to, and I'll come back with a better microphone.
Hopefully you come back with a mic that works, and then
I'm so sorry, Greg, that this has happened, but
no, this was great. I really appreciate you taking the time and talking with us. And I don't know, in the private life now, do you keep up? Like, do you have like a website or anything? Are you just completely done? Like, if anyone wanted to follow you or see what you're doing, or is that just like, leave me alone?
I am pretty much done with making it public, but as I said, I do give my family forecasts all the time. But I am also, with 2 other people, we're buying a restaurant bar.
Oh, cool!
So that'll keep me busy. But we're looking forward to that too.
Just as it happens, I am going to be starting a radio show here about local restaurants. I'm just saying.
Awesome, good. Well,
maybe we should be talking down the line. So
there you go. Please do. Give me another call, Greg.
I will, and I'll bring the microphones are on me this time. I'll bring the microphones.
That would be better.
Dave Dahl, thank you so very much. Really appreciate you taking time and talking with me today.
Thank you. Love it. It was awesome, Greg.
All right. Take care, Dave. And folks, we're going to take our last break here. When we come back, we'll just finish up some stuff. It's the Matt McNeil Show.
Get ready for Easter fun with the annual Easter brunch at the Park Tavern. Enjoy Easter ham, all your Easter breakfast and brunch favorites, and all the sides and desserts. Seatings are from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sunday, April 5th, and you need reservations. $29.95 for adults, $19.95 for those over 65 and under 12 years old, and 5 and under are free. And don't forget the hour of free bowling with every reservation. Call 952-929-6810 on Louisiana Avenue, north of Highway 7 in St. Louis Park. Enjoy a delicious, stress-free Easter with the Park Tavern.
Did you know Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakun airs 5 nights a week at 10 p.m.? That's 5 nights of talking about ghosts, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. We're talking about the paranormal every Monday through Friday with some of the most trusted names in the field. Join us and step into the unknown with Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakun, Monday through Friday at 10 p.m. Only if you dare.
Hi, this is Richard Chu, host of Chu's Views, broadcast live from Chicago, and starting Monday, April 6th, available every weekday morning from 6 to 8 a.m. here on AM 950. With Chu's Views, the emphasis is on positive talk and solutions. But don't get it twisted. We may bring some smash mouth dialogue to the program just to make sure you're awake, not just woke. Join me, Richard Chu, for Chu's Views, starting Monday, April 6th, 6 to 8 a.m. on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Okay, quick question. What do UFOs, breathwork, and psychedelics have in common? Find out at the Midwest first of its kind consciousness experience, the Contact Modalities Expo, back for year 2, May 1st through 3rd in Wisconsin. This is not a lecture, it's an experience. 4 stages, all happening at once, world-class experts, hands-on, mind-expanding sessions all weekend long. Hosted by Jimmy Church, UFO Skywatches with Chris Bledsoe, telepathy, quantum hypnosis, ancient mysteries, try telekinesis, use dowsing rods, experience the God helmet, even a live seance. But there is so much more. Curious? Perfect. Already deep in it? Even better. Go beyond the limits of what you thought was possible. The Contact Modalities Expo, May 1st through 3rd. Get the details now at contactmodalitiesxpo.com.
With Easter coming, Popped Corn, that's P-O-P-P-E-D corn.com, has all the flavors to put a smile on everyone's face. Popped Corn has many delicious flavors to choose from, like cheese made with real cheese, caramel, kettle corn, cinnamon toast, or try one of their great mixes like Windy City, featuring cheese and caramel. Their new flavor of the month is everything but the bagel, and they can ship their popcorn across the USA. Go to poppedcorn.com, enter the discount code MATT to get 10% off your order. That's discount code MATT at popcorn, P-O-P-P-E-D corn.com.
It's the Matt McNeil Show. Greg Bakun, finishing up the day here. Hope you had a good time with me today. I really enjoyed it. I thank you for inviting me into or letting me into your homes. Patrick, I want to share how I have not the greatest luck all the time. And that is simply the one day that Matt brings in popped corn, which sounds amazing. I just listened to the spot. It sounds wonderful. I wasn't here.
That's too bad, and it is a shame. It is absolutely delicious, and you should head over to the store. It's in it's Minnetonka, just north of the Crosstown off of Shady Oak Road. Check them out in the Sundial Center. They are fantastic, delicious, best popcorn you're gonna find.
Well, and funny enough, and it's not funny. It's just the truth. It's on the way home from where, coming from the station going home. So there really is no excuse for me to stop. Maybe I might stop by tonight or something. We'll see how that goes. And then I'm glad that the promos are running for Choose Views starting on Monday, April 6th. Our new morning show, 6 to 8 a.m. Richard Chu. It sounds fantastic, and it's Chicago based, but from the way I understand it, it's not just Chicago focused. So that's going to be fun. It's nice to always see different and new programming on the station. So I'll have to check out the podcast, because there is no way on God's green earth I'm going to be up at 6 a.m. I do a show that ends at 11. And I don't get to bed till about 1. So I'm probably not going to listen to it live, but I will listen to it. It sounds great.
Yeah, you and I can check out the podcast together sometime.
Yeah, no, that sounds absolutely perfect. So yeah, no, that's cool. That is really, really neat. I'm very much looking forward to that. And then, of course, once again, folks, if you're interested, I'm doing Ghost Box Radio nightly, Monday through Friday, paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, all of that. Tonight, talking about the Shroud of Turin, which is said to be the kind of the imprint of the body of Jesus Christ on there. I've always been fascinated by it ever since I heard about it by watching this show back in the late 70s called In Search Of, that was narrated by Leonard Nimoy, and it's stayed with me ever since. So if you have a chance, please check it out. Like all of the shows on AM 950, you can find us on Spotify, YouTube. We're around, so you don't have to listen to us live. We're around everywhere. and that includes our hosts that we had earlier this week with Bruce Klopfleisch, who were talking about Politics Matter, Philip Anthony with the Downright Upright Show, Ghostbox Radio, and also Ellie Krug's program, and she is going to be the guest host for tomorrow, so you don't want to miss it. Now, I always talk about science fiction and paranormal and the odd and the unknown and the strange. I think the strangest thing of all, as we finish up this show here, is this Trump presidential library that is not only a skyscraper that is a complete ripoff of the Freedom Tower in New York, and this wouldn't be in New York, this would be in Miami, but it looks like the Freedom Tower. This crappy presidential library, which is I don't know how many floors tall, is supposed to also possibly be a hotel. So, you know, the first of the presidential library / hotel combos, which is what the world always needed, right? That came out this week with this god-awful gold statue of Trump. I don't know where this is in it, but it's just that whole like it you know, it's not a small statue either. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know how on earth he's gonna do it, because if I'm not mistaken, aren't all presidential libraries, aren't they all based on donations? It's not a government thing. I don't think the government pays for it. I don't know, Patrick, if you know. I think it's all funded by public donations.
Yeah, I'm not aware either, but I believe you're right that it's not something directly funded by the government. I think they might manage it, but I don't think it's directly funded.
No, and this thing is pretty ambitious, let's put it that way. The vehicle parked inside vehicles parked inside include a plane that looks like Air Force One, presumably the Boeing 747-8 luxury jetliner that the Trump administration accepted from Qatar last year, a controversial gift that it said will live in his future library after he leaves office. The head just continues to shake. Let's see. At least from the outside, the property resembles one of the signature hotels, and Trump said Tuesday that it might very well be one. I don't believe in building libraries or museums, says the man who just unveiled this massive plan for this, $4 billion story building. Trump, who made a career out of self-branded luxury hotels, told reporters in the Oval Office could be an office, but it's most likely going to be a hotel with a beautiful building underneath and a 747 Air Force One in the lobby. But it does have to be a presidential center of some sort under the terms of the Florida deal that transferred the plot of land to him. Presidential libraries are technically established to house the archival records of a presidency. Well, it's good that it could be moved out of Mar-a-Lago now. It's considering that bathroom is probably being used as a bathroom. But may have become synonymous with larger museums and broader campuses. They are typically funded by private donations to a former president's foundation, then transferred to the federal government to be operated and maintained by the National Archives and Record Administration, also known as NARA. NARA currently administers 16 such libraries, from President Herbert Hoover through Joe Biden, who is raising money for a library campus right now. So that's what we have going on there. The good news is it's not going to be built here. That's all I care about, quite frankly. It's not even, doesn't even seem real anymore. None of this stuff seems real. It's just everything is over the top and gold. It feels, I don't know. Just enough of it. Folks, coming up next, we have Native Roots Radio. Make sure that you check that out. As always, Robert's going to have a fantastic show that just love listening to him, and hopefully we're going to get him on Ghostbox at some point, because there's a lot that we would like to talk about, and there's some stuff he's interested in that we're hopefully going to kind of meld together. As I said earlier, tomorrow Ellie Krug is going to take the role of hosting for Matt. Matt will be back on Monday. Everyone, I hope that you enjoyed the last couple hours with me. I certainly enjoyed it, and I really appreciate you all listening and giving comments and whatever. Once again, my show is nightly, 10 to 11 p.m. Hopefully you give it a shot. We'll talk to you all later. Have a great night.